Back in 2020, Borussia Dortmund took a bold gamble on a 17-year-old Jude Bellingham, a teenage midfielder with sky-high potential. That gamble turned into gold as Jude rose to become one of the most exciting talents in world football, eventually earning a blockbuster move to Real Madrid. Fast forward to 2025 and history could be about to repeat itself. This time, it's his younger brother, Jobe Bellingham, grabbing the headlines. The Sunderland starlet has emerged as one of the EFL Championship's brightest young talents, and Borussia Dortmund are circling once again. So, the question is, who is Jobe Bellingham? Is he ready for a move to Germany's biggest development factory? And can he thrive under the weight of expectation his brother left behind? Today, we take a deep dive into his footballing journey, playing style, and what this potential transfer to Dortmund means for his career and the Bellingham legacy. Jobe Bellingham was born on September 23, 2005 in the West Midlands town of Stourbridge. He grew up in a football-mad household, with his father, Mark Bellingham, being a prolific non-league striker, and of course his older brother Jude already forging his own path to stardom. Jobe would then join the Birmingham City Academy at a young age, and he quickly stood out, not just for his surname but for his own technical ability and intelligence on the pitch. The pressure, of course, was always going to be there, being Jude's younger brother, came with the constant comparisons, but Jobe never let it define him. At 16 years and 107 days old, Jobe made his senior debut for Birmingham in an EFL Cup match against Colchester United back in August 2021. Interestingly, he became the second youngest player in club's history, behind his brother. Over the next couple of seasons, Jobe featured sporadically for Birmingham, but his talent was evident. He wasn't just Jude's little brother, he was a composed, physically mature and versatile midfielder in his own right. In the summer of 2023, he made a bold and calculated move, leaving Birmingham to sign with Sunderland. It was a decision driven by footballing ambition to find regular first-team football and step out of his brother's shadow, and it turned out to be a masterstroke. Under Tony Mowbray and later Michael Beale, Jobe thrived in the Championship. He didn't just develop, he became a focal point in Sunderland's young, energetic midfield and has since become one of the most exciting teenagers in English football. To understand why Borussia Dortmund are pushing so hard for Jobe Bellingham, you have to understand the kind of player he's become. And no, he is not just another Jude. At 6'2", Jobe has a similar frame to his older brother and operates primarily in central midfield. But while Jude was known for his relentless box-to-box energy, ball-winning aggression and leadership presence from the age of 17, Jobe's game is built on timing, technical subtlety and positional intelligence. Let's break it down. According to the stats, Jobe excels in progressive passes received and attacking third touches, meaning he often positions himself smartly between the lines, offering vertical options to his teammates. He averaged 4.4 progressive carries per 90 minutes and 5.9 final third touches, suggesting strong involvement in build-up and chance creation. He will typically operate as a right-sided number 8 or 10 in a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 system, drifting into the right half space where he can receive on the half turn and link play. His style is elegant, shoulder drops, sharp turns, and disguised passes are common features in his game. Coaches and scouts describe him as a player who breaks lines with movement rather than pure dribbling, and that is crucial. Jobe isn't flashy, but he's constantly 1 or 2 steps ahead mentally. Defensively, he's disciplined. At Sunderland, he tracked back frequently, won 52% of his ground duels and averaged 1.5 tackles per 90 minutes. He's not a destroyer like Jude, but he reads danger early and recovers well in transition. It's also worth noting that his aerial duel win rate, over 60%, makes him an asset in both boxes. And then of course is the calmness under pressure. Jobe rarely panics, whether he's threading a through ball, shielding from an opponent, or making a late run into the box. His decision making is measured. In a league as chaotic as the Championship, that maturity always will stand out. So I guess the question is he like Jude? There are overlaps, of course, technical security, football IQ, the physical profile, but Jobe plays with a slower, more deliberate rhythm. He's closer in style to a Mazzala like a Leon Goretzka or even a young Kai Havertz than to his brother's all-action template. But the DNA, the versatility, the intelligence, the professionalism, That's all Bellingham. It did start out as a whisper, a rumour barely noticeable in the sea of transfer news, but now it's a full-on story. Borussia Dortmund are closing in on a deal to sign Jude Bellingham, and according to Fabrizio Romano, Dortmund have been in advanced talks with Sunderland since mid-May. Their interest isn't recent though. Dortmund have tracked Jude closely over the past 12 to 18 months, seeing in him the same professionalism and growth curve they once saw in Jude. And other news outlets like the Daily Mail have said that Dortmund are confident they have won the race for his signature, beating out several Premier League clubs who are monitoring his progress. The reported transfer fee could rise to £30 million, including performance-related add-ons, a huge sum for a championship player and a clear indicator of Dortmund's belief in his long-term value. Now, the interest in Jude Bellingham isn't sentimental, it's strategic. Dortmund's recruitment model is built around elite youth development. They see Jobe not as Jude's brother, but as the next player to be refined, developed, and launched into Europe's elite. His experience in a physical, high-tempo league like the Championship makes him an ideal candidate for the Bundesliga's transitional, space-oriented football. And then, of course, there's the legacy element. The return to Dortmund would carry emotional weight, a chance to follow in his brother's footsteps at the very club that transformed Jude into a global star, but more importantly for Jobe, it would be his own path, his own time, and his own opportunity to step onto the European stage. For Jobe, moving to Dortmund at this stage of his career means stepping onto that larger scale, the Bundesliga, the Champions League, and a global audience watching every game. It's a chance to test himself against some of Europe's best young midfielders, to develop his tactical understanding further and building his own legacy, and that is very, very important, especially in a family like the Bellinghams. I also feel like this is a move that's not just necessarily about the individual progress, of course, of Jude Bellingham. What you'll now see is you'll have two brothers representing English talent abroad, which will hopefully inspire countless other young players to do the same thing. We've seen the likes of the Jadon Sanchos, the Tomores, the Abrahams, all playing abroad to develop their footballing skills and abilities, and also to have an actual career as opposed to staying in that one country and not probably developing as much as they probably would and should be doing. For Sunderland, losing such a talent will sting, but they can take pride in having developed a player who has captured the attention of Europe's top clubs. For Jobe, the journey has only just begun, but the foundation is solid and the future looks bright. So, as the summer transfer window heats up, keep an eye on Jude Bellingham, the next Bellingham ready to make his mark on football history. As Jude Bellingham stands on the cusp of a career-defining move, the footballing world watches with great anticipation. Will he live up to the legacy his brother has built? Will Borussia Dortmund provide the perfect environment for him to flourish? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear. Jobe has all the tools to succeed. His journey from Birmingham to Sunderland and now potentially to Dortmund is a testament to his hard work, talent and determinations. For fans, this is an exciting chapter to follow, a chance to witness the rise of a new Bellingham. For Jobe, it's a challenge and an opportunity rolled into one. We'll be tracking every step of this transfer saga and his progress in Germany, so if you guys want to stay up to date with all things Jude Bellingham and football transfers, make sure to hit that like, share and subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think about Jobe's move to Dortmund. Will he do well? Will he be able to follow in his brother's footsteps? Let me know in the comment section below and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace!